2 on arrow and board, sinning or missing the mark, and the horn of abundance, the horn of plenty. So hello everyone. The arrow and the board is an old game, where you have an aim and you shoot, and hopefully, if you aim right, you will land in the middle. And what if in your life, when you have an idea and that idea comes true, then it is in that way that you're thinking, okay, I aimed right. But what part was the aiming? What if the aiming was I called the right board, actually? There's infinite amount of boards, there's infinite amount of ideas that could come to reality, and by listening to your intuition and what excites you the most, what's more interesting for you, you chose the right one for you. And so that's how it became real. Not so much that you really strived for it and you really did everything right, but that actually you had the right idea about something that was going to happen anyway. Okay. So there is an illustration of that by Boulébile in Dans le Mille. So Boulébile, it's like a little dog and a little boy, and that kid has been forever trying to shoot in the board, and he just cannot make it, and he gets so frustrated that he shoots in the air way high, and it falls in the middle of a pond. And then he shows us, aha, I did it. You see the concentric rings? I am at the center. I aimed at the center. Okay? So that's exactly what we are. We are already at our center. We are already perfectly aimed. We are already perfect. And from us emanates rings. Then we can say, oh, I missed it, or oh, I did it. But that's just a thought. I mean, it's a valid thought. Why not? If it's valid for you. But please consider that any time that you shoot in the water, you will be in the middle of those concentric rings. So those concentric rings are very simple fractal, a self-replicating pattern. Okay, so when you have a thought, your thought comes out of your head, now you can see it, and if you don't feed it anything, then oops, it kind of like as if you're inside of the donut, and it circles back into your belly, let's say, and it disappears. Or if you focus on it and feed it well, then it can develop into something, I don't know, like a very complex fractal. That's what happened with thoughts. So the horn of plenty is the same pattern, but apparently it's like through time, or it's seen sideways. Okay, so those concentric rings are now seen sideways. Okay, and what was at the tip is the same thing that repeats again and again and again and again at bigger scales. Just like you have the little thoughts that you fed positively and now you have bigger thoughts, okay? And so that's the horn of plenty, your infinite imagination, your infinite world of imagination. Interestingly, imagination comes out of your head just like a horn. And a horn is one of the way that people describe what comes out of your head. So the rays, the crown, the halo, all the stuff that people carry around their head. Okay? Emanation of your skull, of your thoughts, of your visions. Alright. I hope it's clear enough that you can see all those patterns as one. And you can play with it from one point to infinite rings. The more it extends, okay, then so every point that you will choose in this universe will have be the center. Okay, I don't know how to say it well, but there is similarly the story of God being a circle with no edge and with its center everywhere. Okay? So that's because we are inside of that point. Okay? So imagine that the tip of the horn is what you call the Big Bang. Okay? And then the inflation would be that horn growing and growing and growing. Okay, there's many types of horns, many shapes. Okay, and so there is no limits perceivable because you are inside of the horn. So from your own understanding, from your own knowledge and awareness, what you are seeing is manifestation of that point. You cannot see the edge. Okay? Like seeing the edge as, time, or it's not, it's an illusion, just like, okay, when people say, okay, I see the universe started, let's say, 13.8 billion years ago, and beyond that, nothing. It's kind of like, if you measure from the ground up, how far does the train tracks go? It's a little bit silly, you see what I mean? That's not how you measure something that goes away. That's something that, it's infinite. Those train tracks go on forever. They look like at eye level that they reach infinity. But that they meet, but they don't. It is like that forever. It's very stable. So because of the perspective, it looks like the Big Bang happened at that time. But if you look now is the Big Bang too. And every point in that Big Bang is the Big Bang of the future. Okay? Every little point is the beginning of a new universe. If you want to talk about like time-wise, So its beginning is everywhere. Everything that you're looking at is at the beginning of the Big Bang. There is only the beginning. And that beginning is now. So you listening to this is the beginning. And you looking at the room, that's the beginning again. Okay? So you're constantly beginning. That's why the master, they're like so humble, because they know that they're beginning, that they don't know, that they are just about actually to expand eternally. So they're just beginning, you know, they're youthful, they're beginners. Alright. Yeah, I'm a little bit passionate about that stuff. Okay. I take a moment to check if it's all done, if I have anything to say about those shapes. Okay. So, again, on that God concept with center everywhere and no edge, you can look at the flower of life, which is the circle, and its radius crosses the midsection. I don't know how many times you want. I think it's 5 times or 6 times. I'm not sure. And so it makes a little flower, and it's kind of cute. And, all right, but if you continue those circle, okay, so if you just have one circle and then it intersects another circle by its middle and another one, then you have the Melchizedek, the Melchizedek diagram, okay? So it's infinitely the same circle replicated and creating a pattern, okay? So the same circle, and you look at it through time, through different angle, through not me, through them, through, I wonder who, through, I'm excited to know about that one, you know, but it's the same circle, over and over. Different scale, as you wish. Yeah, that was the Melchizedek diagram. You can look it up on internet. Again, pause. That's kind of a lot. So try to feel into it. Like, this is not like you doing nothing, waiting for something to happen. This is like, what did I just heard? How did it make me feel? If I feel like crap now because of what I just told you, it's probably safe to say that you don't need it. Okay, just go on your life and have a good time. But if it puts you in the state of wonder, the origin of the universe is everywhere around you, in every word that you pronounce, in the eyes of people you meet, in the friends you greet. Then it's Jim Morrison, The Doors. See me change. There he was referring to the fact that he was probably going to die, but he has been not, it was not really for him like dying, but more like changing. And he had been changing over and over, putting on so many masks. Okay, and he was just showing his final transformation. after his death, he is everywhere. And to be seeing that's pretty neat. I'm also guessing that since he took LSD and mescaline and stuff like that, for people who have taken those things, from what I can read, they get a sense that the reality can be altered very easily, and the only thing that's stable is the fact that you're conscious. And you can call something unconscious, but that does not make it. So you can consider something as unconscious. He acts unconsciously. It's just, a way of calling something. And so he probably discovered that he would always be conscious and that he was that consciousness. And so, born into one thing or another thing, and just hopping from identification from one thing to another thing. And so if you are like a drop of water in a pool, sending rings everywhere, you cannot know the origin of who you are, but I definitely think it's good to dive in it and try to figure it out, so that you will make at least one loop and have it as a fractal reinforced. Okay? So it's a repeating pattern fractal, so if you... that teaching is probably not fully cooked, not fully ready. So in meditation, when you consider all things, and you just see that you are awareness, you stand as pure awareness. Okay, and it's undescribable by definition, because if you say awareness is this, awareness is that, then you just discover it, and then you're just describing this, you're just describing that. You're not describing awareness. And then you can also do the Lao Tzu statement, which is the Tao, which would be awareness to love. It's undescribable, so no words can say what it is. But don't let that stop you. Endlessly you will try to meet yourself and twist and turn and try, and each time it will generate an enormous amount of creation. Imagine a point bending time and space just to see itself. Okay? And if it's a point that really has chosen things similar as you, as Metcon said, then it looks like your twin. And if he chose something that's different, then it looks like your brother. And very different, he looks like a complete stranger. So all the people in the world, just you, trying to meet you, to meet your gaze, to be recognized, no matter how far the choices, they just want to come back home in your eyes, because you're the door. You're the door that they're looking for and that you're looking for. Now, incidentally, of course, they are also their own door, but you cannot expect people to do anything. That's expectation, and that's going to take a long time. Rely on yourself on that one. So, if you see a murderer or a rapist, I allow you to be as you are. It's not like you not allowing what has already happened will stop it. You see what I mean? It already happened. So, allow it, you know? It's like you're trying to tighten your butt after pooping. It's so that, the poop won't come out. It already came out. It's already done. Just wipe and go on, Wipe and flush. Alright, so some people might not like the analogy. And that's probably because they can't relate to something that they don't really like, and I understand that. So, what are you gonna do? I allow that comment to have happened and have soiled my ears, or, well, that cleaned my ears. Apparently I needed that. So then your consciousness would be this vast, vast ocean, super flat. And the only way for it to interact with itself would be, it actually cannot bend itself, okay? It can create space, it can create time, so that it sees itself. You can say it's flat, or you can say it's a sphere, or you can say it's a circle. They actually, it's all of those, okay? It's the common denominator of all of those. So I tend to think that it's more like a point. Your awareness is like a point. But to me, because I'm inside of it, it feels like a field. Yeah, I think we're safe to say that awareness does not have a shape. It's before shapes, actually. It's, then you project it onto shapes. Or you're like, trying to make a map. And that's very creative. I think we're far enough from the drop in the water and the arrow and the board and the horn of plenty I think we're pretty far enough so we can wrap it up. Okay, well, have a great day. Bye-bye.